everybody doing? My name is Dustin Shapiro. I'm here with Hollywood Happenings. We are in the green room at the Lowe's Hotel. We are just anticipating what's going to happen here. I'm excited to be here. I just drove clear across the country from St. Louis to be in Hollywood and check out the scene and just having a good time so far. So here we go and enjoy.
Hi, this is Karen with Hollywood Happenings. We're at the Lowe's Hotel doing one of our next interviews with Dustin Shapiro. He drove out from St. Louis to check out the music scene and see what's going on here in Hollywood. Stay tuned for an interview with Dustin Shapiro. Dustin Shapiro.
How we doing?
Hi, welcome to Hollywood Happenings.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So, what brought you to Hollywood?
Well, I guess spontaneity and just the idea that there is opportunity and anything can happen. It's kind of an interesting story and I don't really understand it yet, but after work, my shift on Friday at my job, and I just decided to keep driving, and I drove to Illinois, and Illinois isn't the way to get to California. So I put LA into my TomTom, and I drove from Illinois down 70, going west, and that took me back to where I'm from, O'Fallon, Missouri, which is outside of St. Louis, and got some good food over there. And outside of St. Louis, and I went to my apartment. I packed up all of my stuff, all my belongings that could fit in my car, my drum set, my piano, the keyboard, my guitar, and just to see what would happen, out here. And I drove and I drove and I drove, and it was hard at first, but it was just, I guess I just wanted to have that experience, and it was probably a crazy move, but I guess sometimes you got to be crazy to to meet the right people or get in a situation to learn something that you need to learn. So yeah, and now I'm here.
So, what are your future ambitions and goals?
Well, I guess the whole point is really just to be able to make my own music. I write my own songs and I sing and I play piano and I'm a much better drummer than those things, and I want to be able to play too. I can play all styles and country, pop, rock, jazz, and this trip, it's kind of funny, the reason why I left in the first place was because I met all of these people from LA with this group called the Denny Santa Claus Smith Band. This guy was on the X Factor, and he has a striking resemblance to Santa Claus. And they were just so cool when they were in St. Louis for that week, and I hung out with them and I got to really meet them, and they kept inviting me back. Come on back. So I'd play. I do, more than half the drummer's set, and I really enjoyed it. And he's over there dancing with somebody, having me do the work. He doesn't care, but I want to get the experience, and I don't care what that takes, as long as I can get the experience. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Does that answer the question?
How long have you been writing songs?
I've probably been writing for at least 7 years or so. I just write about the struggles that everybody goes through, and just real life stuff. It's funny how it's really easy to write a song when I'm occupied with something else, or something hard that I'm going through, or a breakup with somebody, or just trying to figure out how I'm gonna make ends meet, where things are gonna come from, and where true hope comes from.
What is your... Now you said you were here in Hollywood, that you've been here before.
Yes, I'm
when
here.
Was when was the last time you were in Hollywood, and what are your plans? Are you planning on staying, coming back?
Well, my initial plan, to answer your last question first, and then I'll get the other questions after. My initial plan was to stay and be in Hollywood, and because I met you and I met all the people from the band, and they were really cool. But then I started hanging out with the drummer from that group, and Robert Moore, and he's been really nailing down some things that I just need to learn. Where's the money coming from? Before you play, you gotta say, I need some stability, coming in, which no-brainer, But so he, for the past few days, has just been kind of instilling that in me and saying, you know what, leave on Tuesday, go back, celebrate the 4th of July with your family, and sign up for the Musicians Union and start learning that way, And I'm going off of what he says. Hopefully, the Musicians Union in St. Louis is something that I can get into, and I think it's cheaper back there, actually. So I don't know. As you're asking me these questions, I'm still sorting things out. So, and then the last time that I was in LA, I was on a family vacation. We went and saw the Hollywood sign, and this was a few years back. And we visited my brother, and we saw the Walk of Fame and the Hollywood sign and all the tourists up there. And there's some rocks up there by the Hollywood sign, and engraved it says, with the rocks, it says, "Tourists, go away." So I can see where that's coming from, and I guess I'm still a tourist, so I'm going back to St. Louis.
But you gotta live the dream.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be back, but I gotta. I'm just getting my feet wet.
What about, have you ever performed or done anything in Branson, Missouri?
You know what? It's funny you mentioned that, because I played in Branson. I've actually done a lot. I'm not really telling everything that I've done, because I've been a musician for a really long time. In Branson, I played at the Hey Good Theater. It's like a family band, and I went down there with the high school orchestra, like strings, and they needed a drummer. So I had just graduated high school, so they said, "All right, Dustin, you want to come on this trip? All expenses paid, and you get free food and all this, that, and the other thing." I said, "Well, yeah, that sounds cool." So I went down and we played, and we had a great time. And there was actually another drummer down there who played with the Hey Goods, and we had a good conversation. So whatever I can do to kind of steer, whatever anybody can do to learn and get that little pearl of wisdom that they can from a situation, it's better off.
Who is your inspiration?
My biggest inspirations are probably musically is Steve Gadd, just for the way he plays, and I'm very inspired by C.S. Lewis, his writing, and then of course my parents, but yeah, I mean my brothers and my family, and they've all been really inspiring, and yeah, I mean it just comes back to where where my foundation is at, and like before you move to town, you got to have a solid foundation to work upon. So
I have a question for you. And what is the motto, or what is the big saying in Missouri is the
show me state, yeah.
and what you came to Hollywood, or just on a
whim.
on a whim,
On a whim.
because you are from the show me state, and the show me state has something to prove, something to show.
Yeah.
What are you feelings on that?
Well, I think people in St. Louis, I feel like we could improve our attitude about, like, we're from St. Louis, we matter too. We got our own story. We got a big blues scene out there. We have just a great music scene. It's whatever pocket you get into, it's struggling, and it just depends on who you know. Like right place, right time. You could be on the chillin' circuit. You could be playing in a country club or retirement community or whatever, but at the end of the day, you got to represent your hometown, and so I guess that's what I'm doing right now. I'm representing O'Fallon and St. Louis and wherever I go, wherever anybody goes, they're really representing where they're from, whether they know it or not.
So, what are you a big sports fan? Are you
I like the Cardinals, I love the Cardinals. I wouldn't say, I'm up on all the players like back in the day when Mark McGwire was hitting all those home runs, we really started watching the games because he was hitting home runs. That was like the cool thing. So we start watching the games when it gets closer to the World Series. We've been doing pretty well the last few years. So our new coach has been really well. So yeah, Cardinals are a big thing. Yeah.
and what is your favorite type of music? Is it like blues, rock, punk?
I like pop music just because that's what's most popular, and I want to be playing the music that people want to hear. And if I write a song, I want to be able to write it within those parameters so that people are like, yeah, I can understand that, or, this is the struggle,
If you were a color, people don't understand why I asked this question. It's got a purpose, and I think you'll get it. If you were a color, what would you be and why?
I guess I would be blue. It's my favorite color. I guess you could say it's the color of your blood before it reaches oxygen. And of course we got the blues back in St. Louis and everything, but I don't know, I love blue. I love blue. It's a good color.
Tranquility, peace.
Huh?
Tranquility, peace, you're happy.
Yeah. It's, it puts me at ease, So.
Now, as far as like your color, the color blue, the blues in St. Louis, and you being a writer, how do you relate like blue to your writing and the home of the blues?
I'll try to tie it all together. Let me think. I guess I'll just say, I don't know how to answer that. I'm sorry. I don't know. I like a good blue sky. I like a good blue ocean, and I guess that's why I came out to Hollywood. Part of the reason.
Opportunity. You like the opportunity.
Yeah, good opportunity. Yeah.
Now, how do you are you more like like we're here in Daughtry right now.
This isn't Daughtry. This is Rob Thomas. Yeah, Rob Thomas. Yeah. It's okay. I haven't had breakfast or anything yet, so.
Me either. Maybe that's what it is. So, who was your favorite artist, like, from yesterday? Like.
Yesterday.
And your favorite artist today?
Okay. Well, I guess I'll just talk about some of the musicians I've met so far. I've met a great drummer named Jake Jacobs, and you know, I'm new in town, so I'm the low man on the totem pole. But I've met some really great cats who've been, you know, kind of steering me in the right direction, and they get it, you know, especially drummers, because they know where the beat needs to be. Like there's two worlds for me as far as music. There's singer-songwriting, and there's drumming and studio work and recording and that whole lot. So on this side of the thing, with the studio work and the drumming and the timekeeping and the pocket and the groove, you've got to nail it down. You know, you lay down a firm foundation of, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, got your backbeat, and that's where it starts. And, you know, to come out here and hear the rest of the drummers, hey, how's it going? Hey, to hear the rest of the drummers that I just met in town, and to hear like where they put it and how solid they are, I'm like, oh man, well, you know, the bar is way up there, and I guess I came out here to see where the bar is at and say, well, this is what I got to do to reach it.
So yeah, what is your, like, as far as like reaching that goal? What are your plans?
Well, my plan right now is to just, I'm going to go home on Tuesday. I'm going to enjoy the 4th of July with my family. And I don't know if they know it yet, but I'm going to go home and just, you know, take a little break. I'm going to sign up with the Musicians Union in St. Louis, like I said, and, you know, maybe see if I can get my old job back for now, which may or may not happen. You know, I'll just say it. I was working in a retirement community called the Hallmark of Creve Coeur. It's a Brookdale community. What a great, and is this going to be on the website, I guess? Okay, cool. So they'll see it maybe. But what a great place, you know, especially for a musician, because the first time I was there and the last time I was there, I was playing music, and that's what I loved about it, was they understood it, they got it. You know, like if I needed to be off a day, they understood it, and I'm so grateful for that, you know, because they didn't have to. They could have said, oh, well, you didn't sign in your paperwork when you needed to, or whatever. So, getting back to your question, you know, I'll probably look for some other kind of work, and, you know, get my apartment in order, but signing up with the Musicians Union, I'll see where that leads me and take it from there. So as far, I don't feel like I have a good answer for that question right now.
Well, check out the band Doc Holliday.
Yeah, you were mentioning that earlier, yeah.
And Ray Warren, Reflex Media.
Yeah.
Solutions.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
So you said you have your drums, your keyboard, and your guitar.
Yeah, and I didn't even play them.
Do you have your guitar today with you?
Yeah.
And you have like where you can set it up and do a little small performance?
Absolutely.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go out to Hollywood Boulevard and get Dustin Shapiro perform.
Whoa, look at all this cool stuff. Oh my gosh.
And this is just outside the green room. And we're getting ready to go grab a bite to eat, and then stay tuned for a live mini performance from Dustin Shapiro. Live especially from Hollywood Happenings.
Hollywood Happenings, it's happening here.